Tonight, the Winter Olympics are just around the corner. Updates from Hollywood and a fuel leak close to home. All that and more. This is Clemson News Now. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kalani Adolfo.
And I'm Jackson Cash. ICE protests started back in early January with a deadly encounter in Minnesota, and since then, tensions have only escalated.
The protests in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and other cities have continued as public outrage grows over immigration enforcement and the deaths of Renee Colgood and Alex Peretti. On January 23rd, hundreds of Minneapolis businesses shut down for the day as protesters took to the street, peacefully advocating for an end to the ICE occupation.
The following week, on January 30th, high school and middle school students across the country organized walkouts to publicly oppose the actions of the immigration officials. These walkouts occurred in Phoenix, Knoxville, Tallahassee, Denver, and even at the University of South Carolina. As a result of the national protest, the Trump administration announced they will remove around 700 immigration officers from Minneapolis, while still continuing the immigration enforcement operation.
Border Czar Tom Homan said there will not be a widespread pullout unless public cooperation occurs with ICE, while protesters assert that it is a step in the right direction. Most advocate for a more extensive removal of immigration officials in the city.
Another big headline from the anti-ICE protests was the arrest of journalists Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. Lemon and Fort are independent journalists who were covering a protest that was held on January 18th at a Minneapolis church. They were indicted for infringing on the worshippers' freedom of religion.
Lemon, a former CNN host, says he was arrested at his hotel in LA and plans to plead not guilty, while Fort was taken into custody at home in the presence of her children. Both reporters attest that they were only covering the story, not part of the protests.
From Minnesota to Hollywood, the entertainment world has been shocked as beloved actress Catherine O'Hara has passed away at age 71. O'Hara died January 30th in her home. According to a statement given by her representatives, she had recently been suffering from a brief illness.
O'Hara is most notably famous for her role as Kevin McAllister's mother in the Christmas classic Home Alone movie series. The Canadian actress has also starred in shows like Schitt's Creek and the Beetlejuice series. Tributes poured in from her co-stars, including Macaulay Culkin, Meryl Streep, and Pedro Pascal. The world will certainly miss O'Hara's captivating and hilarious performances, but the star will certainly be remembered.
In Spartanburg, an estimated 2,000 gallons of fuel have been reported to have leaked from the Product SE's pipeline energy facility. At 10 p.m. on Sunday, officials reported that the facility experienced a diesel release from one of its tanks, and upon discovery, the company shut down the tank, stopping the release.
According to Kinder Morgan, the mother company, they are, quote, working around the clock to ensure that there are no safety or health concerns to the community throughout the event. The team and crew are working together to clean up the spill and continuing to monitor the nearby areas in order to keep everything as safe and as orderly as possible.
With the winter season in full swing, Drew Landon has your weekly sports recap that will keep you updated on all the latest scores. Drew, what do you have for us?
Well, Tigers, the Clemson men's basketball team powered through the wintry conditions on Saturday and brought a jolt of energy to the court, defeating the Panthers 63-52 in a double-digit victory to move the ACC needle to 9-1. For the Tigers, this record is second in the ACC, only trailing to 6th seed Duke in the ACC. This week, the Tigers hit the road, battling Stanford on their trip out west, scraping by with a 66-64 win. On Saturday, they square off against the California Golden Bears, hoping to come out victorious to wrap up their trip in the Golden State. On the women's court, the Tigers continue to assert themselves in ACC play. On Sunday, the Tigers came away with a 77-58 win against FSU, led by senior forward Raven Thompson with 18 points. Riding a 3-game win streak, women's basketball heads to Chapel Hill to take on a ranked North Carolina team at 8 p.m. The action doesn't stop there. Clemson Gymnastics is on a roll, posting a season-high 197.025 against 12th-ranked North Carolina on Friday at their annual Pink Meet. Not only is this a season high, this is also their first time breaking 197 in the past 2 years. Bree Clark entered the meet ranked 3rd in the nation. On floor, she posted her second consecutive 9.95, matching the school record, with Ella Cesario competing hard in the all-around, scoring a 9.8 or higher in each event. The 16th-ranked Tigers are up against 20th-ranked California on Saturday, hoping to come out victorious on their road to nationals. Running over to the track, the indoor season is fully underway, concluding the Bob Pollock Invitational with 6 Tigers adding to all-time top 10 performances. This weekend, they're off to Virginia Tech for the Doc Hale Invitational, with the men ranked 20th and the women ranked 5th. The Tigers are gearing up for a meet full of high expectations and more records to break. Back in action this week after the weekend of snow is the men's tennis team, with the Tigers going head-to-head against Auburn tomorrow. The match was previously postponed from last Sunday. Their next match will be on Sunday against UNC Charlotte. Last Friday, the women's tennis team fought hard against the Kansas State Wildcats, coming back from a 0-1 deficit and securing the win by a 4-2 scoreline. The Tigers also dominated over Kansas on Sunday, beating the Jayhawks 4-2. Their next match is Monday at South Carolina. That's all I have this week, Tigers. Back to you.
Thanks, Drew. Staying in the sports world, tomorrow is the opening ceremony of the 2026 Winter Olympics. Held in Italy across Milan and Cortina, this year's Olympic events are shaping up to be a massive event. Milan, a global fashion capital, will host the indoor and rink-based competitions. Cortina, on the other hand, already hosted the Winter Olympics.
This year marks the 4th time Italy will host the Olympics. Many are calling it a complete contrast to the 2022 Beijing Games, shifting from a major city to a small ski town. As for teams to watch, Norway once again enters as the favorite. The Norwegians currently hold the most Winter Olympic gold medals in history with 148, followed by the United States and Germany.
NHL players are finally returning to Olympic competition after the league opted out of the last 2 games. This will be their first appearance since 2014, a major development for international hockey.
Speaking of participation, this year will also feature the highest percentage of women athletes in Olympic history, with 40% of competitors being women. Big names like Chloe Kim, Lindsey Vonn, and Michaela Schifrin are expected to draw major attention. There will certainly be a lot of talented women athletes this year, with the addition of new events as well.
In terms of new events, Skimo, or ski mountaineering, is the first new sport added to the Winter Olympics in nearly 20 years. Skimo, among others, is adding to the buzz as fans count down the hours to a games you won't want to miss.
While athletes overseas compete for gold, closer to home, people are coming together for a very different kind of event.
On October 26th of 2025, a group of Buddhist monks quietly gathered in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, with no fanfare or media attention. That morning, they began a 2,300-mile walk for peace. Now, more than 100 days later, their journey has captured the attentions of millions across social media.
The monks have traveled through 8 states so far, greeted by thousands of supporters along the way. Even the recent snow and icy conditions have yet to slow their progress. Biko Panakara, leading the group, spoke about the growing public support, saying, "This walk of peace has touched people's hearts."
The monks are expected to reach Washington, D.C., their final destination, where they plan to visit members of Congress and share their message of peace and understanding.
Speaking of icy conditions, it's been a cold one, with winter conditions making itself at home. Reporter Angelina Terry has all you need to know before making your weekend plans. Angelina, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Kalani. Tigers, this weekend is shaping up to be much different than the last. Starting off with this Friday, the temperatures are warming up as we are expected to see a high of 58 degrees with a low in the high 20s. Students are finally given a chance to thaw out and stay warm. As we reach Saturday, we are looking at a high in the low 50s and a low in the 30s. The sunshine doesn't end there as we finally reach Sunday, which is expected to be also in the 50s with a low in the mid-20s. Make sure to go outside and soak up some sun. That's all I have for you today. Go Tigers.
Thanks, Angelina. Our final story takes us to music's biggest night, the Grammys. The Grammys were held this past Sunday, hosted once again by Trevor Noah, bringing his usual energy and humor to open up the night. The ceremony featured standout performances from artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Lady Gaga, setting the tone for the rest of the night.
Some of the big wins of the night include Olivia Dean taking home Best New Artist, Lady Gaga with Best Pop Album, and Billie Eilish for Song of the Year. Kendrick Lamar and SZA continued their incredible run, winning both Record of the Year and Best Rap Album, further solidifying their status as two of the most influential artists as of late.
Album of the Year went to Bad Bunny for DTMF, and with him taking the stage at the Super Bowl on Sunday, all eyes will be on Bad Bunny as he brings his chart-topping hits to the biggest stage in sports. That's all we have for you this week. Tune in next week for all your news nationally to locally. I'm Jackson Cash.
And I'm Kalani Adolfo. Clemson News Now.